I'll take Executive Chef Mike Wallace from the Grand Hotel Marriott over crusty burgers any day of the week. What are we making today, Mike?
Well, we're not making anything that's crusty.
Good.
That's good. Again, we're making our crab cakes, Benny, and we start, of course, with our famous Gulf crab meat that we get here on the Gulf. So we're going to take that and we're going to put that into our mixture. So we're going to start a mixture, and when we do this, we take careful attention to the ingredients that we use. Again, using the Gulf crab meat, the peppers, we do a very small, what's called brunoise of peppers and onions. Then we've got some lemon zest. Lemon zest gives it a nice citrus feel in your mouth, gives it a nice clean taste. Then we've got some Old Bay and some Cajun spice. We want a little spice. This is definitely the South, so you want a little bit of that zing or flavor in there. A little bit of salt and pepper, of course. Then we've got some chives. You can put some garlic chive or some regular chives in there. And then this is our binders. So we've got some mayonnaise. This is a typical thing. It's kind of something that I think some of the viewers may not know, that is a typical the ingredient that's in there to bind that crab meat together. Then a little bit of egg, some lemon juice, and then we got kind of a surprise ingredient for our breadcrumbs. We use panko, and panko is a Japanese breadcrumb that gives it a nice crisp texture, and we put really just enough to kind of bind that all together. We want our lump crab cakes at the Grand Hotel and the Grand Dining Room Steakhouse to be just full of crab and not all that breading.
And just like that, we're through, I think, a 10 or so of our record-setting 25-ish prep dishes. This is truly incredible what you're doing there, and it smells so good. We may not be at this point yet, Executive Chef Mike Wallace, but I've just been curious. So I have to ask you, what are these pterodactyl eggs over here, or whatever they are?
That is a very small pterodactyl. That's actually quail eggs.
Quail eggs.
So
okay.
Again, an eggs Benedict dish, which we're kind of doing a fun play on, is we got eggs, and what our eggs are is a little quail egg, and we do a little fried quail egg, as you can see on our demonstrated presentation plate. There is something that just gives a whimsical, fun kind of presentation on there with the eggs and the crab cakes, and then the fried green tomato.
Very unique. Never saw those before in my life, so I had to ask because I've been curious all morning. We've got a bunch of ingredients mixed up here and ready to go. The recipe is online, and when we come back, we'll start to fry this bad boy up. Is that the next step?
Yes, sir. We're going to do that, and we're going to do the fried green tomatoes, another Southern classic.
Sounds fantastic. Thanks a lot, Chef Mike. And now it's time to go back to Sarah.
And welcome back to Studio 10. We are in the kitchen with Chef Mike Wallace from the Grand Hotel. All kinds of good stuff going on in here today. And again, it smells absolutely delicious. We are making crab cakes, fried green tomatoes.
Yes, ma'am.
And it is awesome. Look at all these great fresh ingredients that you're using to put this together.
We are. We've got our crab cake all nice and formed already. I showed you how to do all that beforehand. And now we're going to kind of go through the steps of a fried green tomato. Fried green tomato, all a fried green tomato is a green tomato is a tomato that is just not ripe yet. So it hasn't got to the red ripening stage. So it's a green tomato. It has a kind of an acidic firmness to it that allows you to fry it. They taste great.
They are delicious. They're super yummy. So you have, what do we start with here? You have this in an order for us, don't you?
Yes, we do. This is the green tomato, and then what we have is zatarans. So we had put that in the zatarans, and this is kind of in place of flour. So we had kind of take that, put it into the egg mixture, and just simply some regular eggs just scrambled up, maybe just a little bit of water in there, and then we're going to take that and put it into the panko. You remember that panko we were talking about before?
Right.
And essentially this is the product that we have right here. So it has a nice flavoring, a nice consistency that we're going to put in there.
And what are we cooking it in?
We have clarified butter. Now, you don't have to do that at home. Again, at the Grand Hotel, that's going to be the best flavor because it's going to be that clarified butter. You're going to get a great flavor from that. When you
and that's the crab cake, right?
This is the crab cake. So again, when we're pan frying something, it's important to look at how we pan fry that. So when we pan fry something, we want to put about a third of the way up on the actual ingredient of, you can put oil, is perfectly fine. Yeah, canola oil or something like that is absolutely not a problem. But we put that clarified butter because butter, of course, has the best flavor that you can get.
And it's interesting too because when you put that in, it started bubbling. So we don't want this to be so hot that it's like, you know, spraying out of the pan.
No, this is an induction stove, so if you have it on, like we have it on 7 right here, that's perfectly fine because you don't want it too hot because if it starts to smoke, it'll actually burn your product.
Okay.
So we don't want it to burn. We want it to get nice and caramelized, a nice medium brown color, and that's going to be perfect for both the fried green tomato and the crab cake because you want a little crispness. We don't want crusty. We were talking about crusty. You don't want crusty, but a little little crispy on there.
How long do you think on each side then?
Well, like we're saying right there, it's the pan's getting up a little to the heat, but if you can see, it's starting to turn there a little bit. So we will turn that over, and when you're looking at, I'd say about 2-3 minutes. On each side, absolutely, and it's going to give that nice golden brown hue to it and that crispness because that's what gives flavor as well. The caramelization of the fats and the proteins in there are going to make it just delectable and delicious.
So really, aside from all of these many ingredients you have chopped and all ready to go, it doesn't take that long to get this stuff ready to eat.
No, and that's one thing we teach. We have cooking classes that we actually do every month at the Grand Hotel, and every third Saturday, and this is something that I teach, is that, you know, preparation is everything. You can sit there and get all this stuff prepped up. You can get the crab cakes prepped the day ahead of time if you're doing a party, and you just sit there when you got that party, you just, at the last minute, you get all that stuff done, and you're simply ready to go, and you can cook it nice and quick, whether it's for a dinner party or for dinner at night.
And it looks very fancy when you put it all together if you do it like that, and it may not be super hard to do to look super fancy.
Absolutely.
Very good. All right, we are going to do some more cooking when we come back here in just a little bit. In the meantime, it smells really good and it's cooking away just fine. We're going to send it back over to Michael and Joe. Looks really good.
Back in our kitchen set with Executive Chef Mike Wallace from the Grand Hotel Marriott. Tell the folks what we've done so far right here, Mike.
Well, in our last segment, we took and just nice and brown caramelized our fried green tomato and then our crab cake, and I put our pterodactyl, our mini pterodactyl egg on there. So we've got our little quail egg on there, which basically is just kind of sunny side up. We put it on there sunny side up. And the next thing that we are going to do is our hollandaise.
All right, how do we make a hollandaise sauce?
I'll try to make this a little easier for our TV audience because, you know, hollandaise can be very difficult. The traditional way is putting it on a steam bath and getting it boiling and then put the eggs in there and try to whisk it. And then you turn up with scrambled eggs. It's not a very attractive or tasty version of hollandaise.
Okay.
So what we do is I'm going to start with kind of the different ingredients that I have. First we have a reduction, and again all these recipes are online. The reduction consists of shallots, and then we have lemon juice and vinegar. We take that and then we just bring it to a simmer to get all the flavoring from the shallots in there. Then we take and strain that into eggs. So this right here, we've already put it into this container right here. We got egg yolks, just egg yolks, not the egg whites.
Okay.
Then we've got some salt and pepper. We've got some Cajun seasoning, and then we have a little bit of Tabasco because we are making not a hollandaise, but a Cajun hollandaise. So we want to have a little zest and flavor in there. Then our next ingredient, which I have here, is oil. Clarified butter. When we have the clarified butter, what we're doing is we're going to get that to about 150 to 170 degrees.
Okay.
And what that's going to do is it's going to cook the actual eggs. So instead of cooking it with the double boil, we're going to actually cook the eggs with the immersion blender in here. We've got the eggs in there, and then we're just going to add the warm clarified butter to it.
Okay.
And it's basically very similar. The same process is the same process that you would do to actually make mayonnaise. People don't really realize that. So this is the hot form of mayonnaise that we're making here. Instead of oil, we're using the clarified butter, which makes, you know, the luxuriousness and richness of the sauce. and it has just a great texture and great feel to it.
Look at that. That turned out so
Yeah, look at
good.
it. It's beautiful, and really it's a lot less messy. I mean, you can sit there and make that, and it's really very simple to do and much more easy than doing your other way. We're going to put our hollandaise, Cajun hollandaise, on there, just like that, and then we're going to put our brunoise. And again, we got those brunoise peppers again that we talked about. A little bit of chives. And then we've got our beautiful microgreens that we get from Chef's Garden right there on top. And there you have it. And we've got our nice little crawfish. And that's our presentation for our Grand Crab Cakes Benny.
You know what? I've decided that you're pretty good at this.
Not too bad. Not too bad. About 32 years of training.
Hey, we got to wrap it up here, but we want to encourage people to make your Thanksgiving reservations at the Grand Hotel Marriott as well. They have a fantastic buffet. Go check it out. You can call in and make those reservations now. Meanwhile, the recipe for this is online. What a great job today, Executive Chef Mike. We truly appreciate it. And take a look. There it is.
My pleasure.